So I think we should jump right in then. We've talked a little bit about Canadian Football League and introduced the teams. And after a bump in the road a couple weeks ago, well, actually last week, where the Elks lost their first game, they bounced back.
Yeah, wasn't this the Elks fought the Red Blacks, which the Red Blacks remain winless. I
Yeah,
feel I feel bad for Ottawa. Ottawa is the youngest team, and they are by far being bullied the most, like they are a younger sibling.
so that definitely helps you get right as a team by playing the worst team in the league. So
Yeah.
Elks back
So
with another
yeah,
win.
so they won that game 40-17. So the Elks are looking pretty good right now at 4-1.
Hmm.
You don't want to you don't want to say too much because this isn't like they play like what 18 games
Yeah,
in like 21 weeks. So through the first 5 games, it isn't too much. Or wait, this is week 6. So yeah, through their first 5 games, it doesn't say too much, but the Elks they've been pretty solid recently. And then moving to the second game, which this game, watching the highlights, it was pretty good. The Argonauts took on the Blue Bombers, with Blue Bombers winning 30-21. And that was a pretty solid matchup, I would say. Surprise win for Blue Bombers, in my opinion. I don't expect much out of them recently. And then the Stampeders and the Alouettes fought, and I'd consider it the game of the week. We
yeah,
said
that's what we anticipated to
yes.
be the game of the
In
week.
both recordings, we
Uh,
said game of the week.
and I think it really did come to fruition. That's how it played out
Yeah,
with Montreal getting the win at home over a tough Stampeders team there.
37-30, and a good game. And then closing out the week, so this was yesterday. We wanted to do it more like before today, but you want to get it at the end of the week, do it in the middle. So the Hamilton Tiger Cats fought the Rough Riders. And before I say the score, I just feel so bad for Hamilton fans, which includes me. With Bo Levi Mitchell, he's definitely they really need the dude because they just lost 7-38. And the weirdest score ever, 1-1 after the first, and then it was 1-4 for a little bit. I was
Yeah,
so confused seeing that live.
that's something you're only going to see in Canadian football. Like I don't know if
Yeah,
that's a selling point or not, but it's definitely a unique
when
aspect.
when we were at the Aviators game, that like 1 point for the Aviators, that was goofy. I
Yeah,
had to explain it to all the fans there. They were like, "Wait, what? Huh?"
that was an interesting one
Yeah,
too. So yeah, you're right. It's tough being a Tiger Cats fan right now. I think the only thing that they have going for them is they're not Red Blacks fans.
yeah. I would honestly, I did my power rankings on this video that I watched earlier, and I personally put the Lions above the Tiger Cats. The Lions have much more momentum because they just got their first win. Then they get the bye week. Now they can get um another win, but they fight the Elks. They beat the Elks, but lightning never strikes twice. So then going into week 7, we have that opener on Friday. The Lions versus the Elks, like I just said. So, Dad, do you think the Lions or the Elks pull this off?
Yeah, so from what you said, 2 weeks ago they played, and the Lions beat the Elks. Then they
Given
had
given the Elks the first loss.
then they had a bye week, and now they get to play them again. So I think if the Lions were going to have an opportunity to win, this would be their best chance. They can break down everything that they saw playing them firsthand. They can watch how they played against the Red Blacks, and they can really prep, for this rematch with a quick turnaround. The only question is whether they have a team good enough to repeat it or not. And so I think with it in Edmonton, I think that it was more a bump in the road than the
Yeah.
Lions actually being the better team. I think that the Elks get their revenge
I
on
mean,
Friday.
looking at that score, the Elks didn't put up much points compared to Lions. Like the Lions won like 36-20, right?
Was it 36-24, I think?
Yeah, around that. Um, is down a week 5. Yeah, it was 36-24. So you were right. But then going to the second game, which second week in a row, this is also going to be the game of the week in my opinion, unless Lions and Elks shines this. But the second week in a row, the Alouettes and Stampeders cross paths, and honestly, I put Alouettes as the top team in the league right now. I would think that the Saskatchewan could be number one, but with that Ottawa game where they only won by like 7 and only put up 27 points, I was like, they can't be the best if they just lost, like nearly lost to one of the worst teams. So I personally have the Alouettes in the top spot with Elks in third, Saskatchewan second. But yeah, maybe Stampeders pull off a win there, but personally I'd take Alouettes.
I think the Stampeders win. I think it was a close game last week. I think
Yeah,
Stampeders at home now. I think that they can be the team that comes out and they split their 2 game series there, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that will say a lot about how close these two teams are, or if the Alouettes really are the better team.
So then going to the third game, we have the Argonauts taking on the Tiger Cats. So as a Tiger Cats fans, as a Tiger Cat fan, I want the Tiger Cats to win here, but I am also not delusional. So I'm taking the Argonauts to win this, even though they're the away team. It might be like 40 to like 13 blowout.
Yeah, the
Come
Argonauts
on.
they've been competitive, but it seems like they've kind of been on the short side more often than not. So I think this is an opportunity for them to get back
It's
in the
like
win column.
the Argonauts have been interesting watching because they seem like some weeks they look unstoppable, unbeatable, and then other weeks they look horrible. Like that Stampeders game where they got murdered by the Stampeders, but didn't they beat the Alouettes? Like they're all over the place, and it's the most confusing thing about the league I'd say right now. Unless you're like an Ottawa fan and confused on how your team sucks so bad.
But yeah, as long as they show up, I mean, they should be, getting the win this week, I
And
think.
then in the final game, we have the Blue Bombers and Red Blacks. So do you take the winless team to get their first win?
I don't think so. I think we've seen the Blue Bombers, picking up wins. I think they've been doing things the right way. And so I don't think that they falter here unless they just overlook Ottawa, which I don't think they will.
I I'll say Ottawa has some of the best jerseys, and it is so sad watching them lose in such magnificent jerseys every week. Maybe that's the best thing going for fans. They're just like, I mean, we're going down, but we're going down in style.
Yeah, I guess that's one thing. If you
Yeah,
have to watch them, at least you have a good jersey that you're wearing. But I think that wraps up the Canadian
yeah.
Football League pretty well for us with